We're back at my little house in Oresh, where Joseph, the electrician, is drilling out the wall where the consumer unit will go, and the acro props are back propping up the ceiling as we're taking out a doorway that was to the old hall, and this entrance will be widened a little later. This creates lots of rubble, of course, so there's more shoveling of that out the window. So this week starts with the structural work in the living room and also the laying in of cables in all the other rooms. The walls channelled out, ready to take the cable. Meanwhile, outside, the floor has been levelled up to support the pipes, plumbing and soil pipes. At the far end, there's going to be the ensuite with its toilet and sink, and there'll be a similar one at the bathroom end. In the back wall of the bedroom, there's provision for a socket each side of the place where we're having the bed go, and back in the living room, this important job is called putting the kettle on. And as Monday ends, some of the hardcore that was chucked out the window is being used to bury the pipes. This continues on Tuesday morning, and you're still not seeing the actual floor level, which will be a lot higher than they've currently got to, and the pile of rubble or hardcore outside the living room window is starting to diminish, and there's also soil or clay or whatever you like to call it being collected from where it's being chucked out of the septic pit area. The soil pipes will eventually go down to the septic pit, but at the moment they're still stored in my cellar amongst other materials. Until our house is ready, we're staying in Svishtov, and this is the road back to Svishtov from Oresh, and we pass a train, the train in fact, that goes from Svishtov to Levski. It's heading for its next stop, which is Oresh. On Wednesday, they start making preparations for the concrete floor, and more of the wiring is done. Now, this view of the bedroom shows the two sockets where the bed's going to go. To the left of there, you'll see a small hole. That's a starter hole for the route through to the ensuite when it's finished. The outside work today consists of jointing the soil pipes together as required and then burying them, and inside Joseph is now putting cables into the channels that he made earlier. So as you can see, the inside and outside jobs are coming on at a good pace, and we look forward to what happens tomorrow. I was most pleased to see the room now fully opened up. So we did have a small kitchen and small living room. We now have one great big space, and I asked Davey to actually show me where the patio door will be going, and so he does.
If you can see the pencil mark down the left hand side of the window brine, and another long pencil mark on the right hand side, that is the width of your patio doors.
I haven't made a decision as to what to do with the porch yet, so I just asked Davey to clear it out so I could see just what sort of space there was, but I'll leave the decision for a while yet, as we don't need to know that right now. We do need to know that all the rubble, the hardcore that was chucked out the window, is diminishing fast as they complete the levelling of the bathroom floor. Back in Svishtov, this is one of our favourite places to eat, and it's got probably more outside open space than it has inside the building, and certainly as much as possible we do sit outside. There's plenty for the kids here as there's a playground on site, and it's animal friendly. That means you can bring your dog, and the cats will already be in place, don't worry. The cats are there to pick up the leftovers, but sometimes they can't wait for that, as you might notice here. And then suddenly we notice a pillar of smoke coming from behind the trees in the distance, and the next thing we hear sirens, so we get up and go and investigate, and we find the fire and police services are there. And although Ruth didn't want me to go too close in case the van in question that was burning exploded, when we got up close you could see that it was a flatbed truck on fire. And the story behind this we probably never know, but it did create an awful lot of smoke in the area, and the fire brigade did eventually put it out. It's Friday and the soil pipe is on its way down to the septic pit. Inside, the wire netting's been delivered. That's not the right expression, I know. Let's call it a wire mesh, has been delivered for the concrete floor, and Josef is busily getting some last-minute sockets installed so he doesn't have to tread on a new floor or get in their way. You can now see the place where the windows are going to be. There's one in the bathroom end and there's one in the ensuite end. They're not particularly large, but at this stage of the game it's a case of establishing lintels across the top before our double glazing man comes in to measure. Well, we're now working Saturday to keep the plan on schedule, and Josef is back here working with the electrics. You can see the back box for the consumer unit and the cables being drawn through, and Stefan arrived to start putting in some support for the concrete floor. It looks like he's building little molehills all across the place, but he's getting the level with his laser, and that is the level that the floor will be. Now watch carefully here. The bird's nest that we had is still there, and we see a bird fly in, and I've slowed it down so that you can see it more clearly, but not that clearly. And we tried to peek the camera into the nest, and I think you can just about make out two little mouths open waiting to be fed. And now double glazing man Kalin arrives and joins the Saturday team as he measures up for our new windows. And they're even working Sunday this week as the plumber arrives to get our water feed through to the kitchen bathroom area, which involves digging up the floor by the look of it, and we end the day on Sunday with having a stopcock. So all was good, and I won't even mention there might have been a couple of mishaps on the way. And that's where we end this 7-day week at the little house in Oresh. There'll be more in a week's time.